Cut the Rope is one of the most recognizable games when it comes to the mobile genre of gaming. I mean, you have a cute monster that you're slowly giving diabetes. And that is something worth remembering, right? I did play the actual game myself, and I have been debating to myself on if the game is actually good or bad. Yes, I did see that the game had major bad points, but it did cover it up with all its good side. But after thinking for a while, I just drank a little bit of just cuss all juice and made a review of the game. So before we go into further detail of why it's bad, let's talk about why it's good. Because the last thing I want from Zepta Lab is a puzzle on how to avoid any copyright hijinks. One of the interesting things about Cut the Rope is that no one ever knows how brilliant of an idea the puzzle game is. You cut a rope with a candy hanging and you try to feed it to a cute little monster. And that's a pretty innovative idea, unlike some games that made connecting the dots a lot more complicated. Great game, by the way. And what more is a great idea if it's not paired with interesting puzzles? All of these puzzles are indeed 100% original and makes you wonder how Zepta Lab was able to create about 15 boxes filled with puzzles that are indeed original. Oh look, it is just 30 megabytes big. I also love that the game actually makes you interested to catch the stars. Remember what I said that points are a big wuss? Well, how about stars? No one likes numbers, because that's all math. Stars are shapes, which ironically is also math. What? But hey, how can I complain? So how can I complain on such an interesting game? Well, I downloaded the game just so my mind can be tested by all of its puzzles, but I was instead cramping my fingers with how quick and strict some of these puzzles are. Don't get me wrong, those stars that only last for a limited time are okay, but then the game sometimes overuses it and makes it more like a game of Temple Run. And don't get me started with the pillow box. Holy crap, is that the hardest? Unless you're not there for the stars, you will most likely find that the levels in this box is a lot harder than you think. Get it? Because it's a pillow box and the levels in it is hard. Cut the rope, people, wherein irony is their word and cringe is their name. Please kill me, I'm running out of jokes. If you don't know what the pillow box is in the game, it is the second to the last box in the game that introduced the lantern, wherein the only way to get the stars and get the candy fed to Om Nom is by making sure the lantern is as near to the candy as possible. And my gosh, just by seeing the puzzles in this level, just make you think that the creators are running out of puzzles. To further explain why I hate the pillow box, just look at level 22 of the box. You have to get all of the free stars while keeping the candy near the lantern as you collect the stars and while not waking Om Nom up. Look at how the level looks like. How am I supposed to get all 3 stars? Well, I had to use the hint, and when I saw how you should do it, it was really a pain in my buns. It's a little bit awkward to see the candy stay near the lantern. I mean, just look at this. Just add a little bit of a pipe and you get a crotch. But even if the game had that major mistakes as a puzzle game, I kind of understand why people still seem to like the game. But after Zepta Lab got a ton of good reviews for the first Cut the Rope game, they made more Cut the Rope games. Some examples were the Cut the Rope Experiments, Cut the Rope Time Travel, and Cut the Rope Magic. One of the Cut the Rope games that I sort of had some doubts on was Cut the Rope Time Travel, wherein you not only give one little monster diabetes, but 2 little monsters will receive diabetes. I thought that adding 2 little monsters into the mix will make the game more complicated, but I was proud to see that they sort of made up for the mistakes in the last game. Sure, there were some levels that require some quick time action, but I never relied on getting it lucky. In fact, I could say that Cut the Rope Time Travel is the best one I played so far. And after some spin-off games, they finally decided to make a sequel to the game, Cut the Rope 2. And my god, was the game the worst sequel I had seen. I'm not saying that the game is bad, but a sequel to a game that won outstanding awards, it actually disappointed me. So why do I think the game is bad? Well, you first have an energy bar, and my god, did that limit how many times I can use that restart button. In the first game, you can replay a level as much as you like, but here, you would have to wait for your energy bar to replay a level. And that sounds like a pile of crap, because these puzzles would really need the restart button. And don't get me started with the fruit levels. My god, there are stages wherein you have to collect a bunch of fruit scattered around the level, and that is really hard. What happened to just collecting stars? Now I get that Zepta Lab needs to put new stuff into the game, but there should not be too much new features in the game that ruins the enjoyment of the last Cut the Rope game. Again, I'm not saying that the game is bad as a standalone game, but what disappointed me is that it didn't turn out better than the original. Well, I guess lightning only strikes once for Zepta Lab. But hey, at least they made a game wherein you take care of the monster that you are slowly giving diabetes to. Zepta Lab, wherein diabetes is just one cut of a rope.